So Fox News and Right Wing Hate Radio have been tossing around some very bizarre numbers, essentially trying to argue that there's no problem with policing versus black people in America. Right. Sorry, white snowflakes. Math doesn't care about your feelings. Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. By the way, somebody called in yesterday, a conservative called in yesterday and said that he wanted to know how progressives respond to this. He was citing a piece in the Washington Post. And the piece in the Washington Post says there's 1,004 deaths by cop in 2019. 370 were white people, 235 were black people. So that's 36%, almost 37, 36.9% white, 23.4% black. And he was citing this as basically proof that the police are not disproportionately killing black people. So, let's just, look at that math. I mean, let's see here. We've got 191 million white people in the United States. There are 42 million black people in the United States, which means that for every black person, there's 4.5 white people. Okay? So if you can use that as a ratio, if we have 370 white people killed by cops, 235 black people killed by cops, if you divide the 370 white people by 4.5, which is the ratio of white people to black people, what you get is 82. 82 is the number that you would expect of black people to be killed in 2019 if 370 white people are killed. You would expect 82 black people, right? Because, 4.5 white people for every one black person. So you'd expect 82 to have been killed. But how many were actually killed? 235, which is 280% more. So it's almost 3 times as many black people being killed by police as white people. I don't know why people can't do this math, right? It's simple math. It's right there. It's frankly, much of it is even in the Washington Post article. People want to justify, frankly, their racism, and I don't know how you can stop that. Len in Silva, North Carolina. Hey, Len, what's on your mind?
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Len, what's up?
Well, I was just curious. I was listening to you and Kenyatta yesterday talking about the Tulsa riots, not riots, but the destruction of Tulsa. And you were talking about the bombing. And for some reason, I had it in my head, you were talking about 2 times that the government had bombed the U.S. citizens. And I was just curious if that's the case. It's an incorrect statement.
How so? One of those times was Project Move or Project Push in Philadelphia back in the 60s.
Yeah,
but the other was
not
Greenwood in 21.
Tom?
I'm listening.
Tom, can you hear me?
Just fine, Len.
Okay, it was not the military that bombed Tulsa. It was all civilians.
Okay.
What they were doing.
Do you think that the white civilian? Hang on just a second, Len. Do you think for a moment that the white civilians who were bombing and burning Tulsa did not have the support? Greenwood, which was
they were all
Tulsa
private
suburb,
airplanes.
did not have the support of the white officers in the Tulsa Police Department?
No, I don't.
Then why did the white officers in the Tulsa Police Department allow it to happen and continue?
Tom, wait just 1 second. I can give you the name of the person that was dropping the incendiaries on the. Check out the Wikipedia page on it. They were all considered civilians. They were supposed to be up there just observing. And they had some bozo up there with turpentine-covered balls that he was lighting and dropping, but it was not the military.
Right. So it wasn't an official military action, Len. That's fine. I'll acknowledge. I haven't read the Wikipedia, But even if that's the case, as I said, this is how the white power structure works. So this is how the power structure works in any country in any way, when you've got basically one group of people oppressing another group of people. And sometimes it's done under the color of law, officially, and sometimes it's not, but without official sanction, it wouldn't happen. If the white police department in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, had any dedication whatsoever to protecting the black people of Greenwood, of the Tulsa suburb, in my opinion, that would not have happened. So, Jonathan in Portland. Hey, Jonathan, what's up?
Hi, Tom. So Anything Goes Friday, little historical perspective. I find that the closest analog that I can find to Trump is Emperor Nicholas II, who was forced to abdicate the throne in 1917. And I was reading Leon Trotsky's History of the Russian Revolution, and he has what I think is the most exquisitely perfect account of Trump. And he describes Nicholas as, if you'd indulge me for a moment so I could share an excerpt, it says, Nicholas recoiled in hostility before everything gifted and significant. He felt at ease only among completely mediocre and brainless people, saintly fakers, holy men to whom he did not have to look up. He had his more prop. Indeed, it was rather keen, but it was not active, not possessed of a grain of initiative, enviously defensive. He selected his ministers on principle of continual deterioration, men of brain and character he summoned only in extreme situations when there was no other way out, just as we call a surgeon to save our lives. It was so with the way he treated his ill-conceived hostility. As soon as the crisis had passed, he hastened to part with these counselors who were too tall for him. This selection operated so systematically that when the Russian Revolution came knocking at the door, his advisor said, "Your Majesty, there's not one reliable or honest man left around you. All the best men have been removed or have retired. There remain only those of ill repute."
Amazing. I get it. Jonathan, thank you. Nicholas II? Okay, I'll have to look that one up. I'm not a student of the Russian Revolution.